Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Bareham Engines. I hope you had a great bank holiday weekend. So guys, it's Tuesday morning. I'm really sorry we're a day late on the videos. Was going to come back in yesterday but couldn't be bothered, to be honest, so you'll have to have it on a Tuesday. Anyway, I'm back on the Mercedes today, guys. So the chain Saga. Now this is the chain, just to recap briefly from last week's video. John went down and bought a TD130, so this is a 130 link Mercedes chain. I fitted this with great difficulty, like I said last week. Takes me quite a while to feed all the chain sort of down because we've got a bit of a weird setup on this Merc. For Graham at Ultra Parts to ring us up once I got it fitted and said, do not fit that chain, it's an Imperial chain, you want a metric, which is a TD130M. So this chain here is the original chain that I fitted that John got, but this is actually a BMW chain, so it was too short anyway. This was, I think what he'd done, he's picked up my S50 chain by mistake and replicated that. So anyway, that's got to go back. This one's got to go back. And now we've got the TD130M, guys, which I've just fitted down. And I've actually getting the hang of this now. It's like anything, isn't it? By the time you've finished, you've got the hang of all the horrible, difficult jobs. But anyway, got that fed down now, and you can see this is 136 link. This is. It didn't have a split. It didn't have a link in it, so I've had to use the chain splitter to just part it. And what I'm going to do is just take those links out now and pop down the road and get a split link, and we can fit that, guys, and persist in getting this Mercedes finished. So yeah, bit of a nightmare, like I said in the last video. This thing here, really, because I didn't take it to bits, Paul did, I didn't really know how it come apart, and I've put it all back together pretty much the wrong way, really, long-winded way. But there you go, you live and learn. And I'll know if we get to do another one, which you never know. It's one of those where we've never really done one of these Mercedes SL engines complete before, but we may well get another one fairly soon. So if we do, then I know how they go back together properly. All I've got to do now, as I say, get that chain on, just double check the timing, turn it over. I've got to do the valve clearances, which are done by these adjusters here. Then I can put the retaining springs back, or the clips back onto the rockers to make sure that they're secure. And then get the rest of these bits fitted, guys, and get this thing out the door. I'll be glad to see the back of it. So next job for me will be cracking on with this Cosworth Fit In the dry sump kit, guys. I have just boxed up earlier all the little bits to send off for plating because they were looking fairly grotty, like the fuel rails, etc. I'm going to clean those injectors up. Apparently those injectors have all been serviced fairly recently and they're all good. So that's a plus, means I don't have to send those off. You can see I've got all the little bits out the throttle body there, just waiting for the shaft, etc. to come back, and I can fit them. We've blasted the throttle body, looking like new again. So looking forward to getting those bits back, guys, and getting this one out the door too. It's looking a little bit sparse in here now at the minute because obviously John's Austin was there. He was in at the weekend fitting the motor in that. Didn't get it started. He said when they went to get it started, they had a load of fuel leaks, hence us getting it out the workshop, and Isaac's give it a good clean in here because it was stinking of fuel when I got in this morning. But if anything, the fuel seems to have cleaned the floor a bit better, so that's a plus. We've got the little A-series on the stand there. So this one here, we've just got to finish taking to bits, and we can get this one bored. So this one was the one we had to cut the flywheel off, or the clutch off, to get the flywheel off. So yeah, we've got that off now. We're going to have to obviously replace that, but at least we can crack on with these little A-series now, guys. We've got 2 of them to do, so it's quite nice at the moment that we've managed to catch up with a few bits in here. We've got 1 or 2 engines due to come in, and we've been sort of holding off just so we can crack on with the 3 or 4 engines that have been sitting on the back bench, because it's a bit strange at the minute. If they're not in here, we tend to think we've gone a little bit quiet, but we've still got plenty hanging out the back. over there. So obviously this S50's got to come to bits. We've got Andy coming in very shortly to sort of see where we are with these. So what I've got to do is check all the crankshafts, all 3 of the crankshafts, and see if they can be salvaged, because one of them apparently has done an end, but if it can be ground, that's going to make a difference of about 1,500 quid, because these donor cranks are quite expensive now. So that's the next plan. We're going to just get that one to bits. This is the one that I'm going to be doing for Andy, but I need to check all 3 of the cranks. So that's going to be a bit of a mission.
What are you doing here then?
So,
messing with this still.
Chains on.
Nice. Right chain.
Well, it's not the right chain. It is the right chain, but it was a generic 136 metric.
Right.
So apparently off a Mercedes Turbo, whatever, I don't know. But anyway, we've had to cut 6 links out of it, mate, and I'll put a split link in it.
Nice.
Turn the engine over, all times up nicely.
Ideal.
It's all right, isn't it?
Sorted.
So now I'm just going through the valve clearances, setting those.
So these have got the adjustable.
They have, so
these
this
little thingies.
Yep, so it's got the 17mm. Apparently on the 280, 17mm. On the 230, it's 14.
Ah.
Little fact for you. But that is an interference in the base here, so it's very tight. There's no lock nut.
Oh, I see.
There's no room for a lock nut. So yeah, so you just got to sort of ave it, and they just stay there really.
Nice.
Done the inlets.
Yep.
The inlet is 3 thou.
3.
3 thou, yeah, quite
tight,
small.
isn't it? Yeah.
7 thou on the exhaust.
Ah.
But that is 3 thou in between the centre of the rocker and the base of the lobe, so probably slightly more on the end of the rocker, which is the way it works, isn't it, with the ratio. So I'm just doing the exhaust now, as I say, 7 thou on the exhaust, and the way we do it, mate, is we just wind. I've wound all these down, so we've got, if you get one off the lobe, look, we've got bags of clearance there.
Yeah.
And all I do is do it so when I slide the feeler gauge in there, you can feel some resistance either way. And the way to test is if I just hold it in there, try and move that up and down, there's no play in there whatsoever.
Right, yeah.
You take it out, you can feel that. It feels a lot more than 7 thou, but it's not, it's 7 thou.
It sounds like it's, well, yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, so we obviously put the clips on, and that holds that down to...
Yeah, so that's just it lifting off the base, really.
Yeah. So I'm doing one at a time. Obviously start with number 1. I'll go to number 2 now. Turn it over. Yeah, as I say, I've turned this engine over. It all times up right. Nothing touches. So that is
minty.
Quite good, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what you want.
So if we get that one, we want the tip of this lobe 180 degrees from the rocker. If we try that in there, look, it's a bit of a,
looks like you've
as
got
they say,
20 thou there.
Prick in a bucket, look. Still loads there. So what I do is just wind that out. You can see how tight that is.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room in there either, really.
No, not a lot of room. We've got sort of... There is a special tool to do this.
There always is.
Probably a modified spanner, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah. Someone's gone on a spanner with a grinder.
Exactly. So I'll do this one, and then we're going to head over there, or wherever it is. Where's the head?
Oh, I've put it around the cylinder head area.
We'll head over to another cylinder head, because we have a bit of an issue, don't we?
Seems so.
And the reason we're putting it in the video is because we would like to see if someone can help us on this problem we have.
It's a bit bewildering, isn't it?
A little bit. Yeah. So what we got round there is we did a bottom end on a Morris 12.4.
Right.
Quite a rare beast.
Yeah.
Saloon, 4-door. Quite a nice looking car, actually. For a customer of ours, Steve. And Steve's took it away and put the head on, put the rest of the engine together, etc. He said it fires up instant. Sounds absolutely lovely and runs like silk, but he's took it probably half a mile down the road and it's blew the head gasket. Now we have faced the block, faced the cylinder head, so there's nothing wrong there, and apparently this thing was blew 4 head gaskets sort of on the trot, using 2 or 3 different types of head gasket. The last one he used is a solid copper. It's got new stud and nuts in the top.
Yeah.
He's done the correct clearance, the correct head torque settings. He's even gone over it, made sure that the things are still torqued down after running it through a couple of cycles. As I say, took it up the road and he said it was literally chuffing out the side. Oh. The weird thing is, he bought this car with this issue, or it blew a head gasket. So he's never had the thing not blowing a head gasket. So what I said was, maybe his compression ratio's sky high. So if we just head around here, have a look at the head. So this is the one. You can see there's a bit of grease on here because, so we fly cutted this as opposed to ground it. So it's the same as what we do all our heads.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want too mirror a finish really, especially with the copper.
Yeah, it feels nice.
Yeah, it feels absolutely nice. It looks fine on the head, and the gasket, I think he said he's put sort of Haldite or something on both sides of the head gasket. He's annealed the head gasket correctly. The head gasket was fixed to the head when he took it off, but not to the block. And you can see, have we got the head gasket?
Yeah, it's back in there.
Is it? Let's go back through here then. And you can see here, it looks all a bit distinctly like it's blowing. And he said it was sort of chuffing out of here. I've measured this gasket thickness and it's about 53 thou all the way over. There's no deviation in that. He said all the nuts were tight, properly torqued when he undone them. It's not like any were loose. So, yeah, I thought really, I'll check the compression ratio. These are very low compression apparently. They're about 6.2 to 1, which is next to nothing.
Yeah.
This one is working out at 7.4 to 1.
So it's a bit higher.
It's a bit higher. We bought it out to 60 thou, so it's at maximum, because it was at 40 anyway. It's got new pistons and rings, but he did say that there was quite a lot of oil sitting on top of the pistons when he took it a bit, so although he's only done half a mile, so it's a bit early to say, but that was one reason why I sort of looked towards the compression ratio really, whether it was dragging a bit of oil up under, I don't know.
What's these marks, sort of lighter marks around there? Is that just where it's cleaner than the rest of it?
Yeah, I just set where he's sort of annealed it. I'm not sure really. It just goes a bit of an odd colour, but the dark is where it's been blowing, I think.
Yeah, looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. So at the moment we're scratching our heads. So if there's anyone out there with any experience with this side valve stuff, or these in particular, probably not because they're a bit of a rare beast. Please feel free to comment down below. Bit weird though, it's done 4 different gaskets, isn't it?
4 gaskets.
Flat head, flat block, all still torqued down, still blowing.
When it does it before it's even got like warm?
No, it gets warm. He said it was all right when it was cold, but he got it warm, took it up the road half a mile, just chuffed right out the side, literally could hear it.
Cool.
So, don't know mate, bit of a mystery. But I wouldn't say 7.4 is too high, is it?
No, it's not like mental.
If I was expecting
to see
like
standard,
9 or 10, because I couldn't find a standard head thickness for it, so
so you don't know how much you've been to go.
I just had to go off the compression ratio really. So yeah, if you could help us out guys, that'd be fantastic. Well, thank you very much guys, that is all we got time for today. Unfortunately, look out for our second channel video. We've got a little bit of an update on the E30. We've had another pallet load of stuff turn up. Let's have a little look at that. But until the next video, which should probably be tomorrow, have a great night and we'll see you then. Take care guys.